The following presentation is brought to you by the Pride of ODU, the official NIL collective of Old Dominion Athletics. Be a Monarchist. Join the Pride. Happy Sunday, Monarchs. Bye week. Beautiful weekend in Norfolk and Hampton Roads. Hope you guys took advantage of it. Aaron, Justice, thanks for joining us. How y'all doing today?
I don't want to gloat, but I'm doing really good right now.
I'm doing good, man. Got to watch most football I got to watch all year yesterday. I don't know. I probably watched 20 games or so. So, while there was no Old Dominion games, I got to watch plenty of our opponents and other Sun Belt teams. I was grateful for that.
I will say, Mike, that Lisa was watching the game next to me, the Commanders game next to me, and she said, this is kind of nice. We're not used to this. And I say, used to what? She goes, our team winning? I was like, yeah, it's been pretty rough few decades.
And you're winning on multiple fronts now, Aaron. Old Dominion, Commanders. It's a beautiful time to be a football fan in Virginia.
It really is.
All right, so to celebrate the bye week, I am cracking one of these open from our friends at Afterglow. I see it right behind your head, Aaron. How did you spend your bye week Saturday?
Me? I'm trying. Actually, I slept in because my son was giving me a hard time because I was wearing pajama pants at like noon. And then, gosh, I think I did watch the JMU Liberty game. I won't talk about that because I know that we're probably going to talk about that a little bit. But we just kind of had a movie day, Lisa and I. It was actually kind of nice. It's been a while since we've been able to do that. And I think the way that the rest of the season stacks up, that's probably the last time that's going to happen for a while.
Yeah, and I spent my Saturday at the golf course after doing some housework. I'll try to stay off my soapbox, but it would be nice if these public courses and their marshals actually did their job. At the turn, we're already at 3 hours. We go into the pro shop, tell them what's going on. Next hole, we see the marshal coming out to talk to the group that's slowing everyone down. It was 3 groups ahead of us. We're 3 holes behind the groups in front of them. What changed after that, Aaron? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's not cool. I mean, they should just let you go in front of that group.
But you'd miss so many holes if you did that.
Sometimes it's worth it, though, like to avoid the frustration.
Well, we started at 1:40. We left the golf course at 7 p.m.
Oh my gosh! Like that's expected, like in a best ball tournament or something, but like just a regular round, that's not cool.
No, but I played good golf. We had a good Saturday, and I did get to watch some football. I enjoyed watching Ahmad Hardy play for Mizzou against South Carolina last night. He was electric. He just made some plays where you're like, all right, that guy belongs in the NFL. It's going to be all right. But it's Liberty Week. It's Hate Week.
Yeah, we're not going to say the name of that school again. That's right. The one and only time.
That school from Lynchburg comes in at 1-3. The line has just come out. Earlier today, it opened at 9.5 in Old Dominion's favor. It's already been moved up to 15.5. The Whales like us.
I like it too.
Yeah, if they watched football yesterday, can't blame them, right? Like the JMU and Flames game and the Indiana game too, man. Like wow, they like put it on Illinois.
So I got to watch some of that Illinois Indiana game. It was pretty obvious early on that Indiana was going to just own that game because they were controlling the trenches on both sides of the ball in such a dominant way that it was clear Illinois had zero chance in that game. And I've seen a lot of people ask, how is Illinois ranked 9? And it's pretty obvious if you look at what they did last year. They were 10-3. They finished the season with a nice bowl win over South Carolina. They come back this year with a returning quarterback who's pretty good in Luke Altmaier. So it made sense for them to have that preseason hype. But just like South Carolina, they did not deserve it. And it's why we shouldn't have top 25 rankings until like after week 5 or 6.
Or Florida, or the list goes on and on.
That'll be your second soapbox, Mike.
Yeah. Sorry for going on the soapbox early here. Still mad, like golf courses, just do your job. We want to have a good time. But all right, so the team from Lynchburg loses 31-13. I know both of you guys watched. JMU and that school from Lynchburg had a good fight for 3 quarters. Vasco goes down and JMU kind of just takes control. Is that a good summation of what happened?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't overly impressed with either team. I didn't like either team didn't like look great to me. JMU did kind of figure it out on offense, just from the standpoint of not rotating the quarterbacks. We saw Alonzo Barnett the third all game, which I think like is what they needed to do. But and he ran the ball. He wasn't wearing a brace. So those things were like, I mean, I guess positive if you're a JMU fan. He threw a interception in the end zone, which could have changed things early. A swing there in terms of momentum and points, but yeah, I mean, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. Once Vasco went down, and then they had to rotate Merdinger and then true freshman Ethan Hawk. It was pretty much game over. I mean, I don't know why they rotated. I mean, Hawk is from everything I've known about him, like he's really just a runner. He needs some develop on the passing side, and they in the broadcast talked about Merdinger not being a runner, but he ran a few times and he looked okay. Like he wasn't like Hayden Wolf trying to run the ball. So, but yeah, definitely a different offense with Vasco.
I've never been that big of an Ethan Hawke fan. He was good in Dead Poet Society, but other than that.
Hey, question to you guys. All right, so you made the point of Chesney deciding to stop rotating those guys back and forth. Do you think that's more of evaluating the play of both those guys, or do you think it's more of he sees that Barnett is healthy now? Like you said, the brace came off, and so now I'm just going to give him all the reps because I was going to give him all along, but I just wanted to ease him back in.
I think it's a little of both of those, in my personal opinion. Like, I don't know, like, I'm not there at practice, but I was shocked that Barnett started early in the season. I would have thought that if he was going to start at some point this year, they would wait to like maybe the week before conference play or something along those lines. So I was a little bit surprised, but then so they bring Sluka in, and we don't know what he was promised, right? Maybe like this was to your point, Aaron. This was Chesney's way of saying, "Hey, we gave you a shot, buddy. You didn't perform, and so we have to go this other way." I don't, maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
The quarterback management for JMU in the first few weeks of the season before this week was criminal. What they were doing is Barnett wasn't running; he was only throwing, and then they'd bring in Sluka to run as like a wildcat quarterback, and then he would only run the ball. It made no sense. It basically told the defense, "Hey, Sluka's in the game. Rush the ball, and you'll win the play." Like, it made no sense, and the fact that they finally figured it out after in week 4 to not do that is crazy to me. Do you think someone would have said something early on, like, "Hey, maybe we should let Sluka pass the ball more often if we're going to keep doing this"? But it goes back to that whole thing of if you have two quarterbacks, you have zero. They needed to commit to one, and they finally did, and they had a good win over Liberty last night. Even if it was ugly and took a while to get going. All right, but um, let's focus on Liberty now. So this team is 1-3. Their
Don't
quarterback.
say that name.
All right. Falwell University is coming in this week. Old Dominion is the heavy favorites, but let's talk about why. Obviously, their record pretty rough with their schedule. They have one FCS win, I think, is their lone win, Maine.
Yep.
And then they've lost 3 straight to G5 competition. Like not even like upper tier. They should have a normal school from Lynchburg season, they would expect to be 4-0 right here.
Or at least 3-1.
But they're coming. Right. I guess you could say that for the JMU game.
Right.
But
That's fair.
you expect to beat Bowling Green and Jacksonville State if you're a fan in Lynchburg. But I think this all starts up on defense. So let's start there. Run defense. I sorted this by the number of snaps each player has had. And the more snaps you have on a run defense, obviously, the higher you're going to be on this table. What it says to me is linebacker, safety, and then corner at 5 are getting the most action on run defense.
That's
That
not a
tells
good
me
thing.
that the running backs are getting to the second and third level almost every single play. The defensive line is not doing their job in the run game at all. And in a 4-2-5 front, that's not what you expect to see. I would expect to see the linemen and the safeties, but seeing the linebackers here is a problem.
Yeah, I mean, what I noticed yesterday was like they're just not a good tackling team, period, regardless of who it is. I mean, somebody's going to get the tackles right, but they were not a very good tackling team, and they didn't really seem to get a lot of pressure on Barnett either, which is also not a good thing.
Well, let's not skip ahead. We'll talk about pass rush in a minute. Their run defense. We're going to go to another screen here. And again, this illuminates the leading tacklers in the run game. So this is sorted by that. Linebacker, number 1. Safety, 2 and 3. It just illuminates what I just said about you're going to get to the second and third level here. And this is an opportunity for an Old Dominion offense that runs the ball extremely well and has all season long to run all over the team from Lynchburg.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, why wouldn't you just continue to do that until they're able to stop you? I mean, we saw it in the second half of the JMU game.
Yeah.
The roadmap is there.
Yeah. Justice talked about the pass rush. So we can go there now. This is rated by the number of pass rushes. So the more action you get, the higher in this you're going to be. It doesn't mean you're going to have a high score. And this shows that because none of these guys have a high score except for CJ Bazile Jr. at 9th. He doesn't have a lot of action. He only has played 3 games. But if I'm doing anything, I'm looking out for that guy when we're about to throw the ball. If you block that guy, you're probably going to win the play.
Yeah, he's definitely their best pass rusher. He was someone that would have been. I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming he was on the CUSA preseason all conference first team. Definitely one of the more premier pass rushers in the Conference USA. So yeah, I would agree. He's definitely the one to look out for. They lost TJ Bush, their other defensive end that was really good a year ago. He went off to Cal, and then they lost a couple of defensive tackles from a year ago too. So yeah, I'm not shocked that their run defense and their pass rush defense is not good, given the losses they suffered on that defensive line in the portal this past spring.
But you would think, with them being a private school in a league like Conference USA and having 100,000 online students and being able to funnel as much money as you want, to revenue sharing that you could put together a decent defense. And that doesn't seem to be the case this year for the team from Lynchburg.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think they will eventually get it figured out in terms of in the future and making sure that they can buy themselves a good team, but they certainly didn't do it this year.
Luckily for them, they are in Conference USA, and there's plenty of easy wins in conference play for them. All right, let's go look at pass coverage now. Again, if we look at this is sorted by coverage, the amount of plays in coverage the players have had. Obviously, safety is number one. But what I see from the, actually, this is a good pop quiz for Aaron. If you were looking at this screen, Aaron, what part of the field would you attack?
I need binoculars because it's really small. Let's see. Yards
Does that
per
help?
reception. Oh, a little bit. You said if I was us, in what area would I attack us from an offensive perspective throwing the ball?
Correct.
I don't know, man. I'm
All right,
having
I'll
a
help you out.
difficult eye test there.
All right, Aaron. So I'll tell you. Number 2, the linebacker, Joseph Carter. He has the lowest coverage rating, even despite having won the highest amount of snaps in coverage at 45.9. The second lowest is another linebacker at 65.7. That tells me the two linebackers are not good in pass coverage, and I'm going to attack the middle of the field as much as I can with maybe a tight end or a crossing route from a receiver, because that is where the opportunities are for this defense.
I guess we'll see. We haven't done much of that this year.
No, we have not, but I think this is that opportunity because you also see some lower scores from some of the safeties, and I think the third corner he's got a 65.5, so that's slot, right? He's going to pass off to the linebackers and safeties. I think that's where our opportunity is: hit the slot receivers, hit the tight ends, make plays over the middle. It should look a lot like that Georgia Southern game, in my opinion.
I mean, I would say like the three best players on defense for Liberty: C.J. Bazile Jr., Amarian Williams, the corner, and Brylan Green, the safety. Those are like their three best. And I don't know. I'm not sure where Green plays. I don't remember from yesterday. I don't know if he favors Amarian's side or not. But like, if Amarian and Green are kind of on the same side of the field, to me that means like attack the middle and then attack that opposite side.
Yeah, all I see is opportunity for our offense. We've seen us have success over the middle. We've seen our offense have success running the ball. This is a chance to see if it still works and kind of pick on guys because you see this linebacker, the second guy. His guy has been targeted 12 times. He's given up 10 receptions. Wherever he is on the field, or whoever he's guarding, throw it at that guy. Because there's no one else on the team nearly as bad as that. Like, that is brutal.
Oh, Bodner, pretty bad. 5 for 4, 4 for 5.
Yeah, but out of 73 passes, I mean, it looks like he's pretty good in coverage most often because he's only given up 5 targets. You know, I don't know. That just kind of jumped out at me.
Yeah.
Now we can talk about the offensive side of the ball. Let's go to pass pro. Aaron, what jumps out
Those
to you
colors
here?
suck ass. You don't have to know anything about football. They can't pass block for shit.
Yep.
Now
We saw that yesterday.
I will look. If you look to the right in the true pass sets, it's not nearly as ugly. So this means with the RPO action, they are just not a good passing team out of the RPO or the play action.
They'll probably be even worse with two guys who haven't had many snaps.
That's a good guess. They've given up 36 pressures on the season. Again, against not the best competition. And they're also getting penalties on the O line. They have 6 on the season.
It seemed like yesterday Vasco for a lot of the when he was in the game, he was constantly under duress, running. I don't want to say running for his life, but like he was constantly under pressure. And they had some bit. And like the thing I've noticed about at least yesterday, their penalties is like they were like at critical moments, right? Where maybe they got a big play or something, and then something happened on the offensive line that kind of calls it back. But I feel like that's been. I haven't watched a lot of Liberty games other than yesterday, but based on what I've heard from Chadwell and what he said and other folks, it seems like that's kind of been the MO. Like they've shot themselves in the foot numerous times with penalties at crucial moments.
All right. I'm not great at looking at this stuff, but so I'm looking at Rose. Yeah, it's okay to laugh, Mike. Rose 4 and 5. All right, your 2 tackles right there. Each of them, there's 5 holding penalties. I'm guessing. Those are holding penalties, probably from them. 5 of the 6 are on your 2 tackles, which tells me that they're having a difficult time on the edge, and that's where there's some issues that Ethan's having to run from or
And
had to
they've
run
given
from.
up 4 of the 7 sacks.
It could be a big day for Chris Trinidad and his group.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I don't trust PFF's run blocking grades just because of how they've graded ODU in 2 of the 3 games where we've ran the ball extremely successfully. But let's go to that school from Lynchburg's run blocking grades. I limited this to just the actual O linemen. This is probably their strongest group that I've seen so far out of their whole team. They're a decent run blocking group.
And looking at that and like knowing what ours looks like, I didn't see that yesterday. I guess I would say like I didn't think that their running backs outperformed anything we've done in at least in 2 of our 3 games. I wonder how much of that's like just because Vasco bails them out of trouble. I don't know, but yeah, I don't. They didn't look that good to me compared to our offensive line. What I saw yesterday.
Well, does PFF factor for that? They consider a scramble under duress run blocking?
I don't know. That's a good question. I would say you have to at some point, right? Like it's got to be one or the other. I don't know. I don't know when. I don't when they do the run blocking grades. I don't know if they only base that on designed runs or not. That's a good question. I don't know the answer to it.
And do you guys know number 55? Is he their right guard or their left guard? Do you know?
I don't know.
It's clear.
I need to take a look at the depth chart.
Yeah, I mean, based upon this, it looks like they've been a little more successful running to one side of the line than the other. I just don't know which one that is. Obviously, they list just guard and tackle as opposed to which side, but one of them seems to be significantly better. I mean, 15% better.
Okay. So Geth is left tackle. Is Engbers? Engbers is the left guard. Harrison Hayes is right guard, and Christian Williams is the right tackle.
So that tells me you need to attack the left side of this offensive line.
Yeah, they've clearly been more successful to the right.
Yeah. Which means you might just need to prepare for them to run right, because if they're not running successfully to the left, they're going to go right a lot.
Kind of like me on the basketball court.
You got no left hand, Aaron?
It wasn't nearly as strong as the right one was, for sure. I don't think I have either hand anymore, though.
I do have some notes on Vasco, but I don't know if we should bother with it because he's probably not playing.
Yeah.
But it is always interesting to look because it kind of tells the story of why they are where they are right now. It kind of helps illuminate why they're 1-3.
Sure.
So we will start first with Vasco against clean pockets and with pressure. Uh, it's clearly if Vasco plays, if it's not obvious to everybody else, you blitz this guy. You blitz him.
Yeah, you got to get that boy dirty.
Put him under
He is
duress.
not good under pressure.
We've seen that in action.
Under pressure, he's completing just 40.9% of his passes. And when he's blitzed, it's 48.8. So not great. And that's exactly the kind of numbers you want to see when you're playing someone. Blitz this guy, make. If these guys are his backups, we can all assume they're not as good as him, right?
I think that's a fair assumption, unless they're named Heineke and you figure out that you had a pretty awesome gem sitting there in the wings.
I mean, I gotta assume if for those that don't know, Vasco got sacked at the end of the first half. They landed on his shoulder. He came out of the locker room in the second half, not dressed, his arm in a sling. But I gotta assume I assume it's not gonna be Vasco, and like for me, I would assume it's gonna be Merdinger. I think the reason why we saw both Merdinger and Hawk yesterday is because Merdinger is a very different quarterback than Vasco. And I'm assuming they just didn't want to change the game plan as much. So they put Ethan in there to kind of help with the running side of things. I got to assume they got a week to prepare. It's going to be Merdinger is who I would expect to be the quarterback, and I wouldn't expect to see a rotation necessarily unless they do like some wildcat goal line stuff.
So Michael Merdinger is a UNC transfer. He's 6'2", 210. I haven't seen much of this kid, so I don't know if he's uh, built for like an option offense, like the way that Chadwell likes to run. I imagine he's more of a true pocket presser. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say he has functional mobility. Like he can run, but he's probably not going to bust the 60-yard, 80-yard run. He's not a Colton Joseph. He's not an Ethan Vasco. He's not a statue either. But yeah, he is a more so true pocket passer. I've seen him play 2 games. One game at Liberty and one game at North Carolina. That was the bowl game against Connecticut, and I wasn't impressed with him either game.
So if we stick to what we're good at, we'll go back. We'll go to this matchup screen. Aaron, what is our best thing on defense?
Our best thing on defense. Let's see. 89.3 in coverage. We do that pretty darn well.
Right. So
I mean, there's a lot of good stuff there, but yeah, that's the best of everything.
Well, defensively, coverage is way above everything else. We need to blitz this quarterback, put him under duress, and let our corners and safeties do their job in coverage. This quarterback will make mistakes. It's going to be his first game really on the road in a true road setting. Because as Justice said, he's played basically 2 games. He played in a bowl game where, what that environment is like. It's kind of low stakes, low pressure, especially for a team like North Carolina who's going through a coaching change. And then you got blowout city playing against James Madison. He hasn't been in this type of environment yet. Put him under duress. Let the corners and safeties play, and good things will happen.
I would say without Vasco,
Right.
the best weapon that I think they have on offense is running back Evan Dickens. Like they talked about Julian Gray, but they haven't really used him much.
If I'm playing defense, though, I'm going to force them to throw the ball.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to stack the blocks. I'm going to say that Dickens, you're not going to beat me.
Yep.
And then see what they can do throwing the ball. I don't think it's. I don't think you have to be Blake Seiler to know that what the equation is going to be this week.
Now, you talk about making them throw the ball. So let's look at the depth percentages for Vasco. Obviously, he's probably not going to play, but it gives you an idea of how often they write up pass plays at the different levels and where they're successful at. Vasco was not great with the deep ball this year. 4 of 19, 21% completions. Perhaps Merdiger can improve that number for them because he is a true passer. Maybe he has a better arm, more accuracy. That remains to be seen, but Vasco was not connecting on many big, deep throws this year. 4 of 19 is just brutal. But 3 of those were for touchdowns, which is why the pass grade is a little bit better than it should be.
Well, you showed us pass blocking earlier, Mike, and it did not look good. That's going to have to improve quite a bit for either of these guys to have more success than Ethan did. I mean, he was the starter for a reason, I would have to assume.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the best wheels on that team. He was doing good in the short and intermediate throws, but that deep ball is brutal.
And it doesn't look like Merdinger even attempted any deep balls yesterday.
I mean, he didn't throw that many, right? He was like 2
No,
for
he
5
only-
or something.
Yeah, he 2 for 6. He was
7
1 for
or 6, yeah.
1 for 3 medium, 1 for 3 short. For a total of 21 yards.
Hey, I'll take it. If that's what they're throwing at us, I'll take it. Because in the bend don't break defense, you're going to have to beat us deep to actually score on us with how good we are in the red zone. And if you're taking dink and dunks all day, I don't see that happening.
No, especially when you haven't been able to average 4 yards per rush. I mean, they're averaging 3.8, and that's with Vasco being the leading rusher on yards per carry. I think that they have an uphill battle here. I really do. I mean, you don't want to have a letdown game after the big win on the road in Blacksburg, but I'm sure that that's being talked about, over there at LR Hill, that there's a chance for a real special season here. And we got to take one game at a time, not overlook anybody, go out and handle business each week and make it convincing.
Yeah, even if you go back to his bowl game, he was 1 for 2 deep, 2 for 2 medium, 4 for 6 short. Still under 100
Aaron?
yards in that bowl game.
Aaron, you are exactly right. But let's talk about what this team has to the ability to do after the break, because we have to give a moment to our friends at Afterglow. Can you prep up that ad for us, Aaron? And we're gonna go to give Afterglow some love here. Stay tuned for the Fade Gary. It'll come right after that. We'll be right back to talk some more Old Dominion football.
What's up, Monarch fans? Gary here with your Week 5 Fade Gary picks. We went 1 and 2 last weekend. UTEP just didn't show up in the first half, and East Carolina had a ton of turnovers. But we're still 9 and 6 on the season. We'll try to do better this week with some really great matchups coming up on Saturday. First one we're going to take, it's a noon kickoff, USC at Illinois. We're taking over 58.5. I know people will say this is basically a 9 a.m. kickoff for USC. That's already baked into this total. It should be around 67 or 68. So take it at 58.5, like it anywhere above 60. Second game of the day, it's one of the better games that's going on. LSU at Ole Miss. Give me the Tigers plus 2.5. I also took them on the money line. I think their offense is going to be a little too powerful for the Ole Miss defense to keep up with. Should be a great game, back and forth, but give me the Tigers. Final game, we're going out west, 4 p.m. kick. We're taking Air Force minus 4.5 against Hawaii. It should be an automatic fade of Hawaii every time that they are off the island. This number should be closer to 10, so I'll take it at 4.5 now. I think you should take it anywhere under 7. Good luck, everybody. Go Monarchs. Beat Liberty.
All right, we're back. Fade Gary did not have the best week this week, but considering his numbers on the season, I would continue to ride with him. He's been very good. Just bet them as straights. Don't bet them as parlays because if one leg fails, you're not winning anything. Just bet them as
he is
straights,
8-4. 8-4. That's not bad.
That was last week. He went 1-2 this week.
Oh, my bad.
So now he's 9-6, right? But that's still a good win rate if you're betting them all as straights and getting those lines where he tells you to. You're in plus money right now, and you're on the road to having a good season. All right, so this weekend we saw a lot of positive content related to Old Dominion football. It helps that Indiana just put their foot all the way through Illinois' ass, but
or as Ryan Jensen would say, they took the belt to the ass of that team.
BTA. That was just murder. I don't remember the last time we saw a ranked game go that way.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah, it was kind of fun to watch, though. I mean, it's always fun to see one team get their butts kicked when has nothing to do with you, and it's in a rivalry game.
Well, it's good for us, right? The better Indiana looks, the better we look.
That's true.
Honestly, we should be moving forward the rest of the season. We should be rooting for Indiana, North Carolina Central, and Virginia Tech to have the best seasons they can. Virginia Tech gets back into the win column. It finally gets into the win column over Wofford. Meh. But our friends in Raleigh, North Carolina Central, whooped up on their rival NC-A&T. Was it 62-20? Like they just destroyed.
Yeah, it's higher than I can count.
Congratulations to North Carolina Central. I don't think we're going to include that school from Liberty in this, like, we're rooting for you the rest of the way. Because for good reason, we do not want you to win anything.
No.
I mean, I was actually rooting for him yesterday, to be honest with you. But
were you really?
Yeah. I have more hatred.
Explain your logic here, Justin.
Yeah, I'm going to need to hear something convincing.
I mean, I think, like, in reality, like, my logic is kind of flawed because we should want JMU to be undefeated and us to beat them, right? I understand that, but like my hatred for JMU is bigger than my hatred for Virginia Tech. I mean, I'm sorry, than Liberty. So that's just, I don't know. I just I'm not a JMU fan.
That statement that you made, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I know we've talked about that in the past, but this is the first time in quite some time that we've got a team that has got some significant potential. And how electric. Hey, I'm not the team, so I don't have to think 1-0 each week. I can dream. It's okay. How electric would the atmosphere be to have us and JMU with both teams just continuing to win? That would be a huge game.
Absolutely.
Ridiculously huge.
Not knowing like what else is going on that week, but like, game day's been to Harrisonburg twice now, right? And so I don't know if there's any other big games going on, but like if both teams are have won out to that point, maybe it's a possibility. I don't know.
I'm not sure we should be rooting for James Madison to get that type of promotional coverage ever again. It would not be good for us. It would be good for them.
It would make our victory that much sweeter.
Yeah.
However, Tennessee plays out Alabama that week. LSU plays at Vanderbilt. Ole Miss plays at Georgia. USC plays at Notre Dame. Like, there's a lot of ranked games that week.
I know which one I'll be
rain
at.
on the parade, Mike.
You just need to have a week where there's not a ranked matchup for a G5 to
absolutely.
even have a chance at hosting.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like that's going to happen for us. So, or James Madison. I'm still kind of weirded out that out of those two schools, you have one that's a conference mate, and then another we don't share a conference with.
Yeah.
You want all of your conference mates to win conference play.
I just do not. I do not like JMU. So no, I do not want them to win. I understand how it's good for Old Dominion. I understand that. I'm saying me as a fan, me personally, I can't do it.
Especially after we just illuminated why we should be fans of Indiana, Virginia Tech, and North Carolina Central the rest of the way, because the better their metrics are, the better our metrics are. And this last week, our metrics are really good. 51 in FPI. And then if you look at the odds to reach the college football playoff, before the new FPI gets updated, we're at 11%, which is like the second or third highest in the G5.
Yep.
Highest in the Sun Belt by far. We should be.
So,
I mean, you got to root.
So don't screw it up. Don't screw it up.
I mean, I don't disagree with your arguments. I agree with everything you said. I'm just saying, like, for me, like, just personally, like, I don't know. I just don't. I don't like that school in purple.
You don't like that school from Harrisonburg?
That's right. I don't like that school from Harrisonburg.
You're letting your personal biases get in the way of true analytical data.
Gotta say, I'm on.
You're talking to
Mike here, Justice. Gotta say, I'm on Mike's side here. You know.
But at least I'm aware enough to understand it, and like I can I don't disagree with it. Like I understand, but like I don't know. Like I tell you, want to know where my hatred comes from? Kent Kaluko. That's where it comes from.
Yeah, that's old. That's old hatred.
It is. That's really old hatred. Showing my age, right?
We have not seen an ODU JMU game with this much on the line, potentially, if we all stay on this path, since 2012, when we played in Harrisonburg and we beat them for our CAA championship.
And I was there on that misty night in the short stands.
Yeah, and the beauty of it is, since we both played Liberty and ODU rocked Virginia Tech, we can lay claim to maybe the best of Virginia minus UVA. Like, just throw them out the window. Maybe we root for Virginia Tech to continue their Commonwealth Cup dominance so they can kind of take them out of the equation.
Yeah.
100%.
But
I agree on this one. Yeah, we got to we've got to cheer for all those people that we've whooped up on so far.
Also, if we win against that team from Lynchburg and JMU, I am making state champs t-shirts the day after.
Put them on the website.
2025 state champs.
That's right.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how Old Dominion at a 2-1 record is already 11%, considering the talent in the G5. But obviously, the Sun Belt has not had a great start to the season. So I think we should look at this week's games for the Sun Belt real quick, because it was kind of a mixed bag. I'd say great week for ULM. Going into UTEP and getting that win was awesome for ULM, and I'm excited for what they did. Texas State played Nichols FCS game. They took care of business. Congratulations to them. Coastal whooped up on South Alabama last night, winning 38-20. Does South Alabama suck? Did Coastal figure out their offense? Remains to be seen on both sides. But as Justice alluded to earlier, he thinks South Alabama just sucks.
I do. I think
he was pretty
Georgia
emphatic.
Southern beats up on what? Georgia Southern beats up on Maine, though I will say at halftime this was a close game. So it took the second half for them to separate. Marshall takes care of a bad MTSU program. And then James Madison beat that school from Lynchburg. And Troy beats Buffalo. The
Now
rest,
that game,
ugly.
the Troy Buffalo game, I
Go ahead,
watched that
Chris.
game, and Buffalo should have won the game. Like the Buffalo quarterback got knocked out, and that really changed the game. The Troy offense with no Goose Crowder is terrible. It's terrible. I think their defense is good. I think the Troy defense is legit, but no Goose Crowder, that offense is not good. And if the Buffalo quarterback hadn't gotten knocked out, Buffalo would have won that game yesterday.
Well, that sucks for Buffalo and our former quarterback coach, Ron Whitcomb. Sorry.
The other game
Let's
I
go
watched.
to but hold on, Justin. We got to go
Okay.
through these ugly games first. And
Okay.
then we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I think the ugliest loss of the night, it's kind of up for grabs. Like, Arkansas State loses 28-21 to Kennesaw State. Eastern Michigan beats Louisiana 34-31. Obviously, Georgia State got their doors blown off by Vanderbilt, but that's a ranked team. Georgia State's not great. We can throw that out of the equation. It's either Louisiana or Arkansas State. Arkansas State and Louisiana were both picked to finish near the top of the West this year, and both laid massive eggs yesterday. But I don't
I
know
think it's
which
going
one's
to be
worse.
A State. B.
I think the Louisiana one's worse.
Really?
Well, in terms of who they got beat by,
Where is Kennesaw State even at?
they're better than Eastern Michigan, though.
At least I know where Eastern Michigan is.
Kennesaw State is
Kennesaw State's in Georgia.
Aaron. Kennesaw State is in the Atlanta suburbs.
Yeah.
So they honestly should be playing Georgia State yearly as a rivalry game because it's almost as close as like ULM and Louisiana Tech. Like they're right down the road from each other.
Now Louisiana does have an excuse. Walker Howard, their former 4-star quarterback transfer, he's been out. I think at least the last 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. And so their quarterback situation behind him is pretty atrocious. So, I mean, I guess you give them a pass there. But Eastern Michigan is not a good football team. I think if Kennesaw State and Eastern Michigan were to play, Kennesaw State wins that game 9 out of 10 times.
Kennesaw State only won, or they beat Merrimack the week before by not much more. I mean, Merrimack D2, right?
We can all agree that these are two terrible losses for the conference. How about that?
Fair enough. I can agree. I can agree on that.
And there's a final loss that we haven't mentioned yet.
That's
in a
probably
future
the one I wanted
conference
to talk
game.
about. Yeah, that's the one I wanted to
The
talk
future
about.
divisional game. Southern Miss goes to Louisiana Tech and loses. Was it 30-20? Louisiana Tech is now 3-1 on the season, so at least they're off to a good start in their final season in Conference USA. But that is not what you expected out of Southern Miss after they had the big win against App last week.
Yeah, that
Justice,
Louisiana.
what do you got on it?
I was gonna say the Louisiana Tech defense is legit. They're one of the best defenses in the Group of 5. That the score of that game looked closer than the actual game, in my opinion. Southern Miss did not look good at all. Louisiana Tech's problem is offense, right? They're on their, I think, third quarterback of the year, but they're still finding ways to win. But they have a top level defense in the Group of 5. They're serious. I think if they can get the offensive side figured out, they're a serious threat to win Conference USA.
You know how I feel about whoever wins Conference USA? If a tree falls in the forest,
Did you say
no
the
one
tallest
hears
midget?
it.
Were you watching
But if
the
a tree
game
falls in-
while you were filling your tank up?
No.
I just it feels like they're just in a lost nomad status where anything that happens in Conference USA when they're playing each other, just no one even knows what happened because their coverage is so bad. Like if the team from Lynchburg doesn't win it, you're not going to know who even won the league unless you're trying and looking for that information.
Yeah, and they have some really. I mean, Middle Tennessee is really really bad. Yeah, they're easily the worst conference in the Group of Five. It's not even close.
And what was our record against them yesterday for the Sun Belt?
0-3. I don't know. 0-2.
We got one. We got one. James Madison.
Oh, we beat
won.
with James Madison. Yeah. That's right. So 1 and
But
2.
Kennesaw State, that's what to say. Louisiana Tech.
And
Yeah,
well,
not great.
we went 2 and 2 because middle is 2. So we went 2 and 2. Right.
You want to go 4-0 against that conference.
100%.
Yeah.
Especially when you manage to beat the team from Lynchburg. That's the one team you're like, all right, you can lose to that team because they're usually pretty good. But
Or maybe Western
when you're
Kentucky.
losing to Kennesaw,
Yeah.
Jacksonville State on some nights, after that, it's just, what are you doing?
Well, we haven't been good against Conference
Aaron?
USA this year.
I don't even want to think about those guys. We left that I was going to say concert. We left that conference. We're about to get somebody in the Sun Belt from that conference. We just need to beat that conference. It was not a good week.
No, it's not a good week when you go 2-2 against the worst conference in the G5. All right, I think it's time to talk predictions. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, I forgot to look at the total. What is the total for this game?
What are we predicting, or what does the odds makers say?
We are predicting. I'm just saying. I want to look at the total. Total's 51.5. So I'm going to give it to Justice to lead us off. Who kickoff is at 6 p.m. on Saturday night. Tailgate lots open at 2. Justice, ODU is favored by 15.5. What is your prediction for this game?
Old Dominion 38-14.
Ooh. So you got us covering the spread by a large margin.
Yep.
Zero hesitation either. Zero.
All right. Map out how we're getting to, was it 38-14?
Yeah. How we're going to get there?
Paint this picture for me, please.
Traquan Jones and Colton Joseph probably each at least have a 30 or 40 yard run, at least one apiece, right, for a long touchdown. I think we get out really quick early, and then we kind of, like we saw against North Carolina Central, maybe we empty the bench and it slows things down for us, or it could be worse. I think at halftime Liberty might have 7, and then they might get another touchdown in garbage time. But I'm not concerned about this game, especially with no Vasco. I think Old Dominion dominates this game from the start, much like they did against. We saw it was kind of sluggish against North Carolina Central. I don't expect that. I expect us to come out guns a-blazing in the first half and have a very comfortable lead going into halftime.
I like it. So before Aaron goes, I'm going to give him a little bit of data here. So ODU is 3-0 against the spread. For overs and unders, we are 2 out of 3 games we've hit the over. Now Liberty, they played 4 games. They are 0-4 against the spread. They have only hit the over once all season. Part of that is they're not scoring at all. So, Aaron, let's hear your take.
I'm not going to give you a score, but I think that we're going to win by 3 touchdowns for a few reasons. One, quarterback is a serious concern for those guys. Vasco went down. They got 2 dudes that haven't had many snaps. They got to figure that out, and I think that's a major problem for them. They've been bad. The second thing is they've been bad on third down on offense. And I feel confident that we are going to stuff the run. We're going to load the box. We're going to force them, and we're going to put them in positions where they have to throw the ball. They're going to have third down and distance to get there, and they've not been very good, especially against JMU once Vasco went down. And so I think that's going to be a problem. And then they've given up long drives, and their defense has been on the field quite a bit. And so their defense is not going to be able to sustain 4 quarters of football. In the third quarter and the fourth quarter, we were talking about it before. Our rushing numbers in the third and the fourth quarters are stupid. I mean, they were like over 9 yards per carry in the third and the fourth quarters, and that's going to happen again. And for all those reasons, I think we win this game by 3 touchdowns. No 50-yard field goals needed this week. Sorry.
All right. So that was me. We got 2 blowouts. We got 21 points and what was that? 24 points, Justice?
Yeah.
Spread is 15.5. I feel like that's going to go the other way a little bit. Like they'll start getting, because that's a big number. It's a big number, and it gives bettors a chance to kind of move the spread a little bit. Jamie Chadwell has had a ton of success against Old Dominion. They seem to just figure it out against us.
Well, except for that one year.
Despite that,
1 year.
Yeah.
Now,
when Blake Watson
Yeah.
ran all over them, and we set a team record for rushing yards, right?
Mike,
Yep.
before you give your prediction, that 15.5 points, do you think that factors in 100% that Vasco isn't playing? And so you think it's going to come down? Or do you think once the official word or once Vegas figures out that he's really not playing for sure, what do you think happens then?
Well, I assume the early money knows that he's unlikely to play. If that changes during the week, you'll see a quick shift, maybe the other direction. If things change and he gets a miraculous recovery, maybe he gets a nice shot, some medical shots that make him ready to play.
Or Mr. Miyagi comes out?
Yeah. But, yeah, Chadwell, he's had success against us. Running quarterbacks have had success against us. They've passed well against us when we shut down the running quarterback last time we played them, right? Vasco suddenly learned how to complete passes. And now they have a guy who is actually a complete passer. However, we have not had a team this talented ever playing against Chadwell or Liberty. And we're going to insert our will after a week off of rest and recovery. Old Dominion runs them out of Norfolk. The team from Lynchburg loses 41-10. We don't get the over just because it's at 51.5. But we cover easily. And we are all dancing and starting to think about what could be even more moving forward. We're all buying in. We're buying in the hype. But this team needs to ignore all of the noise, continue to go 1-0 every day in practice and recovery and rest, in classes, every snap. Just keep going 1-0, block out the noise. Because once you let that noise come in, things can unravel quickly. So ignore the noise, focus on your job, and we will continue to go 1-0 every week.
I like it. Now we just got to take care of business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern. It's not that another team is going to beat us. It's that we're not going to take them seriously, and we'll beat ourselves and let them punch us in the mouth when we're not ready for it. Because this team's too good to just get beat straight up by another G5. It's going to be us beating ourselves.
Yeah.
Agreed. Awesome.
We didn't talk about penalties or turnovers. It's probably something we should have talked about, since that is the magic sauce for Ricky when he talks about wins and losses, is the turnover and penalty battle. We probably should have talked about it. We apologize for not covering that today, but we're feeling good.
Hey, we can cover it
11%.
right now. Have less turnovers than those guys. We win. We covered it. Good to go.
the turnovers are the ones to me are the killer. I mean, obviously penalties. When you have penalties in a critical moment, like you go score a touchdown or a long touchdown run or whatever, those are killers too. But like, I feel like if we can minimize the turnovers, good things will happen for this team.
There's two things we got to avoid. It's holding, obviously. Holding kills every drive.
Yeah.
Offensive holding, right? The second one that has seemed to bite us when we least need it is an ineligible man downfield. And that's easy to happen in a scrambling offense where the quarterback is moving. It's not hard for that O lineman to just get too far downfield when Colton connects on a deep ball and then it just gets pulled back. If we can avoid those two types of penalties, I think we're in really great shape.
Yeah, agreed. You're like Mel Gibson and Braveheart telling everybody, hold, don't go, wait. Clearly that didn't hit.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, well, I got a couple things before we close this thing out, Mike, that I just want to mention. Those of you on social media have seen, or may have seen, hopefully have seen, that we're putting together an ODU fan bus for the JMU game on the 18th of October. We're still getting some kinks worked out with the website, so we appreciate your patience with us. But hopefully this week, those will all be ironed out. But you'll have the option to purchase just a bus ticket or your bus trip if you already have a ticket, a combo to have a bus ride and the ticket. But it should be a good time. It's an up and back, so you can relax. You don't have to worry about driving, and we can go up there. And since all public tickets are sold out, this is a great way for you to get up to JMU and help us cheer us on. The second thing that I want to promo. Go ahead, Mike.
Hold on, Aaron. I need to gas this up a little bit. If you've never ridden on Venture Tours, I'm not sure if this is legal or we should not say it out loud, but you are allowed to bring your own cooler and put whatever you want in that cooler, assuming it's adult beverages or food, so you can be ready to. You could pre-game the tailgate before you even get there, and have celebratory beers on the way home. So
That's
I just
right.
need to throw that in because I don't think many people know that unless they've ridden it before.
No, that's nice. You'll be able to relax on the way up, catch up on your episodes of the Monarchist podcast because they usually have Wi-Fi. And on the way home, you can share a celebratory beer, like one of those, or whatever your beverage of choice is, and revel in the victory with camaraderie of all your fellow Monarch fans. So Venture's been great to collaborate with on this and try to get a fan bus going up there. So we're really excited about that opportunity. The second thing is, assuming that you are listening to this on Tuesday, when it comes out on Wednesday, tomorrow, if you're listening to this on Tuesday, our episode with Wendy Larry is going to drop. It's a great episode. Mike and I had an awesome conversation with her. There's some cool stories in there, so don't miss that. My the third ask is, if you enjoy what we do, please like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. It really helps us out. We made a nice little jump in the last month or so on YouTube. So tell all your friends in Monarch Nation. It really helps us out as we continue to do stuff like this and then help get news out to you guys, Monarch Nation.
There's one other thing I would like to add about the bus trip. Venture has been very kind to us to set this up. We asked them why there wasn't a bus trip, and Jimmy from Venture made sure it happened. He's working alongside with the Monarchists to help promote this and push it out there. But he has promised that every dollar from the bus part of the trip will be donated back to us. And what we plan to do with it is put it into charity of some way. We haven't figured that out yet. Maybe we'll do a poll. We'll do something where you guys can have a say in where this money goes. So just know that if you come on this trip, part of that trip will be going to good use. And you can feel good about it. Like, you get to go watch us on the road, have a stress-free day of just sitting back and relaxing on the way to James Madison, Harrisonburg. Sit back on the way home and relax, and you will know that you put some money towards charity just because Jimmy has been that good to the Monarchists. All right. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I want to thank Justice for coming on the show today. If you don't know, he runs the G5 Hive. Follow them on Twitter, follow them on YouTube, follow them on Facebook. Wherever you can find them, follow them and support them. He does great work covering all of G5 football, and he is a Monarch. So we all love supporting our Monarchs. Support Justice, the Monarch. Thanks again for tuning in. We are the Monarchists. Go Monarchs.
Go Monarchs.
Go Monarchs.
Beat Liberty.